Hello there. So recently I heard somebody say that a book is a souvenir and you buy a book to feel better about yourself. I don't know about you, but that's not so much the case for me. And it might even be the majority of people out there feel this way, but I don't. And so I wanted to throw in my 2 cents into the conversation. And if I wanted a souvenir and if I wanted to feel better about myself, I would buy a t-shirt, not a book. The reason why I buy a book is because I find some all or even a small tidbit of information within the book is useful enough to me to want to keep the book. And ideally, when I buy a book, I intend on reading it and utilizing the information in the book. The problem is, I seldom get around to reading said book because of time, and we're bombarded by all of these things all the time of go to this free webinar, but then if you don't go to the free webinar, then you're gonna have to pay to watch the replay or things like that. So you're always like, oh, I got to do this now, I got to do this now, I got to do this now. Everything is, you have to do it right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. And so when you have these things constantly coming up that have urgency, it's hard to ignore those things and go over here and pick up your book and read your book, because what you're what people are paying for when you're offering a high ticket offer or coaching or training or an online course or whatever, it's uh, people are paying for a shortcut, because we are in an era of instant gratification, and we are in a results oriented society. So yeah, so when it comes to making your offer to people, you would think that the more money somebody is spending with you, the more content you have to give them. I was recently talking to a friend who we were talking about her marketing, and she has a coach, and uh, I said, oh, well, why don't you run this and this and this by your coach and see what he thinks? And she said, oh, he told me I have to watch 60 modules before I can meet with him again. 60 modules and hours of video training. Now, I don't know if this is filler content to make it look like he's got this grandiose product, or whether it's even essential for her to watch all these videos before she can implement the next thing. And that got me to thinking, how many times do we overcomplicate things because we're trying to make it look like our offer is bigger and more grandiose than it actually is? Are we providing filler content? We're all about the bonuses, the value stack. It's all about adding more and more things, more and more content, more and more bonuses, more and more frivolous crap that you don't really need to get from point A to point B. So people want the point A to point B system. And the easier it is to get there, the better. And this is why you can write a book that explains in rich detail every little thing you need to do to get from point A to point B, and people will buy your book and they will still pay for your $5,000 coaching program. Because even if all you do in the $5,000 coaching program is offer the same exact information that you offered in your 99 cent, you know, ebook download, they're still going to pay for the coaching. Why? Because of the shortcut. They don't want to spend all of that time reading the book to try to get all this information when working with you one-on-one, they can condense that time down and glean all of the information they need in a quicker manner. So I feel like we we keep on trying to add new stuff, and even I'm you know I'm guilty of this as well, because I was overcomplicating things. I kept thinking I'd have to, reinvent the wheel every single time I ran a marketing campaign, and I fell into the same trap, you know, that, I have to make everything, cutting edge, new information, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you can literally reuse your same information, but it's all about um, the system. It's all about your system that you're providing, and it's all about the delivery of the content. So people want instant gratification, and they also want people to do it for them. We're inherently lazy. Even the people that, have these killer morning routines and get up and jog and blah 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 blah. They're still gonna go get that protein powder and throw it into a blender and drink their protein shake, instead of going and growing vegetables and making sure that their vegetables are 100% organic, and creating their own mulch, their own fertilizer, and blah 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 blah. I mean, there are people out there that do that, right? There's an exception for every case, but what my point is, we are trying to we're always trying to do the easiest thing. And entrepreneurs and business owners and coaches and, you know, people that are trying to provide all these systems, we are trying to reinvent the wheel every single time, because we think, well, if somebody bought my book and I already explained all this stuff in my book, then why would they hire me? They're second guessing the whole they're second guessing um the fact that people are innately lazy, and they want the instant gratification, and they just want they just want everything to be provided to them, for the most part. And so, instead of thinking to yourself, what else can I add to this to increase the value? Think to yourself, what steps can I remove to make this even easier for them? And it took me a while to figure this one out, because, I recently heard a coach, a very affluent coach who charges a lot, is I was thinking to myself, well, a 1-year coaching program has a lot more value than like a week coaching crash course or whatever, an intensive, a 5-day intensive or whatever. And she explained that if you can get your client the result that they want in 5 days, it's a lot more valuable to them than if you can provide that exact same result over the course of a year. And it all comes back to the whole, why are you buying a book? because I want the information out of it. Why haven't you read the book? Because I have to watch this and this and this course out there because they're going away in 24 hours. So be the person who can condense that time down for them. And you might underestimate the value of what you can provide, because to you it might be incredibly easy to say throw up a landing page or create this graphic or whatever, right? But for them, it's this huge thing. And if they don't get your guidance, then they're probably going to go out and buy this other thing that they don't need. And they're probably going to waste a lot of time. And even if they try to learn it themselves, then they might go through this, m- months long training and spend thousands of dollars to try to get to the level where you're at, where you can just say, oh, well, you can just do this and this, and there, you got a landing page in 24 hours. So one of the number one things that you can add to your product or service or program or coaching or what have you, the number one value you can add is time. Because time is one of our most valuable assets. Time is more valuable than money, because you can always go and make more money, but you can't go and make more time. So the next best thing is condensing time for people so that they don't have this 3-year long learning curve that you had to go through. You can just take all of that knowledge and reduce it down to a week-long program where all of a sudden people are getting the same results in a week that they would in 3 years. So think about it in terms of, how can I condense time for somebody? Next time you're thinking about value adds when you're developing your programs, think in terms of condensing time. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.